Welcome back to Milton Keynes Sports Bar. We're live in Milton Keynes for the latest Taom Shootout, and that's the story of the day. We have one quarter-final place still to be filled. So let's fill it, shall we? Will you please welcome a former World Championship runner-up, twice a shootout finalist. It's Simon Fitzsimmons. And his opponent, a 4 times World Masters and European champion. It's the Wookiee, Cunningham.
I have plenty of home support, quite literally, as she is one of the owners of the club we're in today, Milton Keynes Sports Bar and Lounge. She is originally from Northern Ireland, but now based over here in Milton Keynes. And this is her first taste of the Taom Shootout, up against a guy that's had quite a bit of success in the event, twice a runner-up, once into the semi-finals. In the 4 previous events, he's lost to Jordan Shepherd twice and Liam Dunster twice, so it's taken brilliant performances from great players to knock him out. But in Cunningham, not only is she just the home favourite, she is one of the very best ladies players in the world. She is currently ranked #1 on the Ladies IPA Tour. She has won so many titles in the ladies game, 4 times a world champion. We could sit here and tell you all the titles she's won, but we only have half an hour.
For the 8th time today, can I just say, it's getting a bit lively in there.
Not for the first time today. We're going to also have to restart the match as the black flies in off the first break.
Well, there's a re-rack. There's no shortage of options for your own entertainment out there. So here we go again.
And this time he makes a ball, and it's not the black. Didn't catch the break as cleanly as he did the previous one. You could see the white was spinning quite dramatically, showing that he sort of caught that with quite a bit of side. And that's perhaps why the balls have ended up in a cluster in the middle of the table rather than a nice big split that he had previously when the black flew in.
Yeah, you don't see that too often, do you? Let's have another look at that.
Those plants are so often, they look easier than they actually are. That ball over the pocket was just to the side of the pocket, not over the middle, and it is easy to miss those.
Easy to miss those as well.
Well, we've seen it all afternoon long, haven't we? Those centre pockets are very tight.
Well, you called it very early on in our coverage today, the difference on these tables, on the centre bags. And we've seen so many examples of that, into that same pocket actually.
Simon's going to get another opportunity in this frame. He's going to have to develop the yellow by the black. He has a good angle to do it now. He will need to be careful he doesn't get the black moving too far. He doesn't want to knock that towards the corner pocket or the middle pocket and cause a problem. In fact, he didn't quite have the angle to get into the yellow and black. He caught the red first.
Yeah, hard for these two. They've been hanging on all day for their opportunity. I have to say, Emma Cunningham's walk-on is probably the most vocal.
Well, she's going to have more support out there than any other player today. This is her home venue. She's a part owner in this club, and not only that, she carries she is the #1 player in the ladies' game at the moment. But she carries a bit of, probably she shouldn't do, but she carries a bit of the weight of the ladies' game on her shoulder, I think, at times. And she wins a lot of tournaments, and we've seen her win tournaments on, you know, TV events and webcasts, and you know, all over the world. But she's always, whenever she's in an arena like this, she's always trying to showcase that not only are the ladies great players, but she's trying to showcase you know, she's trying to play her absolute best all the time, rather than just focusing on winning. Almost like rather than like she's trying to showcase to the world that ladies are great pool players as well.
So can Emma Cunningham strike first? Will she roll through or leave the double? It's the roll through. No mistake at all. Great start from Emma Cunningham. And an early lead, 1 frame to 0.
Nice settling clearance for Emma, really took those out nicely. Had a tricky first opportunity where she missed that yellow into the middle pocket, but once the frame opened up, she took them out really nicely. I think it's fair to say the crowd has enjoyed that one more than any other frame today as well.
Do you reckon? It's Emma to break off. Nothing doing this time. Rice smile. Al Murray enjoying himself there.
Simon's just gone too far. I think he might have snookered himself. Although he is walking around with a bit of purpose, so maybe he can just see enough of this red to the centre pocket. You see the tattoo on Simon's hand. He had that done yesterday, so he may be feeling some nerves in the, or some, you know, a little bit sore in that hand.
I would expect so.
Yeah, I think he had it. He said, I was chatting to him a little bit earlier. He said it had been at 5 o'clock yesterday afternoon, so not too long for it to heal.
Wow. Oh, yeah, what is it?
It's a tiger.
Of course it is.
Yeah, he was saying it's the start of a sleeve that he's having done. I was just wondering what would it be like to be able to grip the cue with a hand that's that sore.
Well, having never had a tattoo, I wouldn't know. But I'm told they can be quite painful.
Yeah, he was saying that it wasn't too bad apart from the knuckles. The knuckles were where it really hurt.
Oh, where's the black gone? Oof.
Well, that's just added an awful lot of interest to this frame. For a second, I was thinking that Emma was going to come to the table with a very simple clearance for a 2-0 lead. And now it's just, with that black hanging over the pocket and both of them having colours by it, it's a very delicately poised frame. And Simon may feel it's worth, if he can get himself, if he could pop this red to the corner and get behind that red, he may take the skill shot on, play the red into the black and get the red to follow the black in. Obviously it's a very risky shot. I think Emma needs to just guard against giving him that option. She played a shot previously, just trying to develop her balls, not too worried about what she was leaving because she felt that Simon couldn't really clear up. But she needs to guard against that skill shot.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Because Simon should be able to get himself onto it now if he wants to. He could choose to play it a different way. He does have an angle where he could play into that cluster, but you're worrying about developing or nudging the black in. That's an excellent shot.
Oh, what a shot that is. So deft. Made it look easy, didn't he? And in the blink of an eye, that's frame over. Wonderful shot.
Emma's going to be disappointed because once Simon had missed initially, she had more balls on the table than Simon, and she played two fairly loose shots.
Let's have another look at this. Made it look so easy. I can assure you it wasn't. Absolutely perfect.
Trace the right-hand side just to widen the angle off the cushion and the pace to stay on the red to the corner. Excellent shot.
Oh, the red stayed out.
Well, how did the red stay out? It looked for all the world like it was going to drop in. This red to the top left. That's okay. For a second, it looked like that red might go awkward. There's room to get on it, or room to nudge the yellow out the way.
I think she'll just leave it. Play for it behind the yellow. Work to be done though here.
Yeah, I think she wanted a little flick on that yellow and just missed it, and that's made things a lot worse. She still has a chance, but she's working harder than she wants to.
Now this is a key shot.
The three balls she's got left don't really work together very well. She needs an angle on this red to be able to get across to the right-hand side of the table, and it's not perfect. It's a little bit short of perfect.
Just fall on the other side. So a fair bit of work to do with the cue ball here.
She may be able to screw on and off the left-hand side cushion and get the white across, but you're travelling the white quite a long way and your margin of error is very small.
That's how she played it. Now, what angle has she got?
Well, the crowd really like it, and that tells me that she's on this. Doesn't look like it from our angle, but they like it.
It doesn't. But they have the view. I'm still not convinced.
No, I'm pretty certain she's not on this red. She can only see the very left-hand edge of it.
I think the crowd were applauding the cannon, but no, she's not on it. Played the reverse double.
And that whole visit was about that one ball, and that was it went there on her first shot.
The boos as Simon just rolls up.
pretty tough hit with it being so close to the black. She has to avoid the yellows on the top cushion, or near the top cushion.
Nowhere near.
Now Simon has a free shot, and he may well look to try and get this red out the way. Not in a way of wanting to get it safe, although he'll be pleased if it goes safe. More about getting it away from the black. Well, that's not his best work. He needed that yellow to bounce another 6 inches or so, just get it out into the middle of the table. He's left himself on no ball. And that's not his best work either, because Emma can see enough of this red that she can do something with it. She can get it moving, give herself a chance for it to go in somewhere, even if it's a hit it as hard as you can and hope. You're giving yourself a chance. I think she had a look at the double, similar to the shot she played a couple of visits ago. I'm not sure that's on.
Oh dear. Wow, she says.
This time Simon gets that shot right, using the red to develop his yellow, and they're all there for him now.
Yeah, this should be 2-1. Match clock approaching the midway point. Only one frame apiece. I won't make any predictions about neither player reaching 5 this time. Taken these with supreme confidence, real fluidity. Simon Fitzsimmons. He'll roll the black in for a 2-1 lead.
We've seen it all day long, and those of you that watch pool a lot on Free Sports will have seen it plenty of times. The player that goes for the finish first time out and doesn't get it, you're just leaving yourself wide open for a counter clearance, and more often than not you lose the frame.
Yeah, we've seen that a lot today, haven't we? That kind of complete about turn in a frame.
I think it happens more in this format simply because the players are under more pressure because of the shot clock, so they're almost forced to chase the finish on a bit more than they would be if they had more time to think. You might see more tactical play, you might see more safety shots, but when you haven't got time to think, you kind of get down and you pot a ball just to give yourself an extra 30 or 15 seconds.
We're at the halfway point of the last 16 contests, Simon, so we've seen everybody. Who's impressed you most? Who do you see as a potential winner this evening?
It's very hard to look past the winner of our first quarter-final, Liam Dunster and Jordan Shepherd, the winner of the previous 2 events. Liam looked excellent in his 5-0 victory. Jordan Shepherd looked a little bit nervy, a little bit under pressure early on, but then finished off in true Jordan Shepherd style. So those 2 are going to have a big say, or one of those 2 is going to have a big say in this event because they play each other. In the other half of the draw, it's hard to look past Mark Boyle. He looked very good, and he had a couple of bad things go against him, potting black and white. He was pushed very hard by Andy Lucas. But he showed an awful lot of bottle and showed what he's all about by the way he responded to the negative things that happened, and actually he looked to be in great form. I would imagine from the bottom half Mark and top half Liam or Jordan.
Well, let's see. You've got to be in it to win it, and there'll be 8 up for progressing further when we come back at 7:30 tonight for the conclusion of this latest Taom Shootout, live from Milton Keynes throughout the day here. Hope you've enjoyed our coverage as much as the fans have who have made the trip here.
Excellent pot from Simon. Blind pocket, awkward cueing, and he dropped it in dead weight. Very nice pot.
Yeah, starting to take control a bit over the last few minutes. Emma's just played a couple of loose shots. Simon has punished. And he's poised to open out a 2-frame advantage. No mistake. Simon Fitzsimmons has a 3-1 lead.
It was early in the match, but frame 2 was quite a big frame really in the context of this match. Emma Cunningham had 2 fairly loose shots on the trot after Simon had missed, and if that's a frame that Emma would have come to the table after Simon missed and thought, this is a frame I need to work out how to win. I'm in control of it, although it wasn't obvious how quickly she could win the frame, but that would have given her a 2-0 lead and puts a very different complexion on the match.
Yeah, completely right. Such fine margins in this format. Another dry break.
And it's a very big break. Big and dry is a dangerous combination because he's left a very nice split for Emma to go at. Those reds are very inviting. The black's a problem ball. She has a red close enough to it that she will either able to be able to develop it or even play on it if it goes into the middle pocket.
Well, she can get behind it to the right corner. That's a tricky approach. Can't quite see from this angle whether it goes to right centre.
Yeah, it does look a little bit tight.
Yeah.
I'm guessing it doesn't go. But she'll have an option to move it. She'll have some choices. She might just overrun her position this time, which makes things even harder.
Yeah, didn't want to be taking this red at this point in the break, and she's missed it. And worse still, it's rolled right up next to the black.
Yeah, I think she was trying to flick the yellow away from the black at the same time as potting that. So it took her eye off the pot, trying to pinch the pocket a little bit as well. And it just shows that she's overrun her previous positional shot by maybe an inch and a half. She wanted to be on the red in the top half of the table. If she's on it, you know, she's in perfect position, and she's gone an inch and a half too far, and all of a sudden the visit's over and she's a big underdog for the frame because of it. Simon doing the right thing. It can only hurt him if he goes for a finish and doesn't make it. He can bide his time, wait for a better opportunity, and whilst he has a 2-frame lead, Emma's got to make all the running.
Oh, she gave it a big push to free the red, and again has missed the pot.
Again, it couldn't have come out much worse having missed the pot. She's nudged the red to a position which is about as awkward as it could be on the table, just above the middle knuckle. It doesn't go into the centre pocket, and that's if she gets back to the table, which is looking unlikely.
And this writing beginning to appear perhaps on the wall for Emma Cunningham. Remember, she won the first frame of this match.
Yeah, she won the first frame and she won the first frame in very nice style as well, with a very nice finish. I just think those 2 careless shots in frame 2 are going to come back to haunt her.
That wasn't ideal cueing, but he made it look relatively straightforward, Simon. And I wouldn't wager that Emma will be back this frame. This is the final of our 8 last 16 matchups. Quarterfinals, half 7, and then straight through semi-finals and final. All tonight here in Milton Keynes.
Simon just left himself too straight, forced himself to play the bit more expansive shot by screwing it in and out of the bulk end of the table. He played it beautifully.
Well, you saw Emma there not at all happy. And why would you be? 4-1, a nod from Simon. He knows he's on his way through. What away from victory already.
I think this is what I was sort of saying at the beginning of this match, that Emma sometimes she just takes a bit too much, puts a bit too much pressure on herself to not just play, you know, and win, but to showcase how good the ladies' game is. And sometimes that extra pressure, she just ends up, you know, making a few more mistakes than what I've seen her do in other matches when she's away from the arena table. I mean, of course, there is also the added pressure of playing in the arena and you know, the live TV element of it and everything else. But I definitely think that plays a part in her, because I've seen her win big tournaments before and been disappointed that she hasn't, you know, showcased what she can do.
Well, there was a lot of agitation in that break-off at the cost of a little bit of technique. That was a break saying, I'm not going to let you beat me 5-1 if I can help it, but it might have the opposite effect.
Well, it's a miss from Simon, but it's a miss that you don't mind too much, because you're taking the pocket, you're 4-1 up, 6 minutes on the clock. It's not really a bit of a, not that much of a disaster. He'll expect to come back to the table in this frame. And Emma was trying something very expansive, going for an incredibly difficult skill shot, and giving away the foul. Not the best free shot from Simon. Don't think he's quite opened up the red as much as he wanted. He may still be able to make it off the yellow.
Yeah, played it nicely. And this is it. Twice a shootout finalist, and today at least another quarter-final. That'll do it. First fray went to Emma Cunningham, then 5 on the spin for Simon Fitzsimmons. And he will be back as one of our quarter-finalists this evening, and that's what we've got ahead. Pick of the bunch, arguably. First up, when we return at 7:30, Liam Dunster versus Jordan Shepherd. Seb Webb against the 16-year-old Keane Monaghan, Ben Davis and Mark Boyle, and Matt Lawrenson will play the man we've just seen book his place in those quarterfinals, Simon Fitzsimmons. Myself, Simon and the rest of the team will see you back for the quarterfinals, the semi-finals and the final live from Milton Keynes. We'll be back at 7:30.
Shootout Pool, sponsored by mycaring.com.